Have you ever felt like life is stacked against you? Like no matter how hard you try, something always pulls you back: fear, doubt, failure, silence. It's exhausting to fight a battle you're not sure you can win, but what if you were? Never supposed to fight this way in the first place? What if the real breakthrough doesn't come from effort alone, but from a radical shift in how you perceive, think, and move? What if the most powerful people in history all shared one mental habit? They acted as if everything was already working in their favor long before it made any sense. This isn't wishful thinking, it's mental precision, strategic faith, and once you learn how to install this inner code, you'll stop reacting to chaos and start commanding your destiny. This video is not about hype. It's about engineering a new inner blueprint, one that teaches your brain to expect success, interpret resistance as growth, and reprogram every setback into forward motion. So if you've been waiting for a clear sign, this is it. What you're about to learn can permanently alter the trajectory of your life. Because when you act as if success is inevitable, your reality begins to obey. If you're ready to shift from hesitation to conviction, and you want to rewire your mind to operate from power, not fear, subscribe now. This isn't just a channel. This is your training ground for a life where everything moves in your favor. Most people don't fail because of lack of effort. They fail in the split second after something goes wrong, when doubt creeps in. That hesitation, that internal pause, is where defeat is installed. Your subconscious hears your doubt louder than your goals. Every time you second-guess yourself, you send a silent signal: I don't trust the process, and the mind follows orders whether they're conscious or not. That's why emotional reactions shape outcomes faster than plans ever could. Your future isn't built on logic, it's built on your dominant response to adversity. Understand this: adversity is not the enemy. Your interpretation of it is. Those who panic see adversity as a threat. Those who win see it as a call to rise, and they respond accordingly. The real mistake is reacting like a victim instead of acting like the architect. When you allow emotion to override intention, you default to chaos. But when you condition yourself to expect resistance and lean into it, you gain control over the narrative being written in your mind. The subconscious doesn't negotiate with confusion. It acts on clarity, especially under pressure. So if you flinch when life hits, you train your mind to associate pressure with failure. But if you face it with purpose, pressure becomes your training ground. So the question is, what internal command are you broadcasting when life gets hard? Because you're always teaching your mind what to expect next, and whatever becomes familiar, fear or faith, will become your autopilot. The mistake is thinking you can win with a mental program that doesn't believe. Your dominant thought isn't just an idea, it's an instruction. Whatever occupies the majority of your mental space becomes a command to your subconscious. It doesn't matter if it's helpful or harmful. Your mind will shape your reality to match it. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you expect. Expectation is a magnetic force, and your mind tunes its frequency accordingly. Wanting success while expecting failure is a short circuit of power. Training the dominant mind is not inspiration, it's repetition. It's deliberately choosing conviction when doubt feels more natural. Every repeated thought becomes a seed, and the subconscious doesn't care what you plant, it just grows it. The mistake most make is feeding the mind contradictory instructions. They visualize victory, then speak defeat. They affirm faith, then act in fear. This inconsistency teaches the brain to stall, not to execute. To dominate your mind, you must unify thought, word, and action. No mental drift, no emotional contradiction. Clarity must become your mental baseline, not an occasional state. Only then does your mind become an asset, not a liability. Think of your mind as your command center. It doesn't take suggestions, it takes directives, and the dominant directive will always win. So train it, feed it, and enforce it daily. Faith isn't believing after the proof, it's acting in alignment before the evidence appears. This mindset isn't naivety. It's high-level mental strategy. Your actions teach your mind what's real. So when you move with certainty, certainty becomes real. The brain searches for coherence between belief and behavior. When you behave like the outcome is guaranteed, the mind adapts to support it. This rewires your perception, sharpens your decisions, and pulls your focus toward solutions others can't see. The world doesn't respond to hope, it responds to inner conviction. You don't get what you wish for by waiting, you get what you declare through action. Even silence obeys the energy you project. Hesitation creates energetic confusion, but decisive action installs clarity into your system. Confidence is not a gift, it's a discipline built through motion. You train your nervous system to normalize pressure by confronting it. Believing before seeing isn't pretending it's leadership. You lead your own mind. You lead your state, your voice, your presence before the world gives you permission. This is what turns invisible conviction into tangible momentum. No external result will ever substitute inner certainty, and the ones who change the game aren't waiting for validation. They act as if the outcome is done because internally it already is. And the universe responds to that energy without fail. Pain doesn't define you, your interpretation of it does. Most people collapse because they mistake challenge for punishment, but every obstacle carries encoded instruction, and those who decode it extract power instead of pain. Adversity isn't a wall, it's a mirror. It reflects the strength or fragility of your mindset. Interpret it as rejection, and you retreat. Interpret it as refinement, and you rise sharper. Your brain assigns meaning automatically, but that default wiring is outdated. It was built for survival, not expansion. So unless you consciously reframe what happens to you, you'll keep reacting. Like danger is everywhere, even where there's opportunity. Powerful people interrupt that default. They pause, reframe, and assign new meaning with intent. They don't ask, why is this happening to me? They ask, what is this training me to become? Reframing isn't delusion, it's command. It tells your nervous system this moment serves me. When that belief is reinforced, suffering transforms into fuel and forward motion becomes your automatic setting. The lesson is simple. Life responds not to events, but to your story about them. Change the story, and the event changes with it. Interpret adversity as alignment, not opposition. Because how you frame it determines what it becomes. Your subconscious doesn't understand logic, it understands repetition and emotion. Whatever you say to yourself with intensity becomes law. Every phrase you rehearse becomes code your brain executes. This is not motivation, it's mental programming. Most people affirm failure without knowing it. I'm not ready. Things never work for me. I'm just not that type. These aren't harmless thoughts, they're installations. Spoken often enough, they become identity. Self-suggestion flips that script by making you the author. You write new commands and embed them with conviction. Not just words, but declarations. Not just affirmations, but instructions with emotional voltage. But here's the key. The emotion must match the message. A weak voice can't rewire a strong belief. You must say it like your life depends on it, because it does. Belief grows where emotion lives. This is a discipline, not a gimmick. Write your new identity in statements of power. I'm built for this. I make pressure a catalyst. Repetition makes it familiar. Emotion makes it real. You're always in self-suggestion mode, either building or breaking yourself. So take control. Use your voice to reprogram your reality. Because what you say consistently is what you become inevitably. Nothing changes until you decide, not wish, not want, decision. It's the internal shift that says, this is who I am now. And once made, everything realigns around it. The absence of decision is the birthplace of confusion. When you hesitate, you split your energy, and a divided mind can't move with power. It overthinks, stalls, and spirals in loops of fear. Decisive people don't wait for clarity, they generate it. They move first, and clarity catches up. Why? Because motion dissolves doubt. The longer you wait, the louder fear gets. Every powerful transformation begins with one clear decision. No more. I lead now. This is the new standard. These are not casual thoughts. They are commitments sealed with action. Indecision isn't neutral, it's sabotage in slow motion. You think you're being careful, but you're leaking momentum. Every day you delay, you train your mind to tolerate limitation. And that habit becomes your new ceiling. You don't rise to the level of your dreams. You rise to the level of your decisions. So decide fully, finally, and without fallback. Because the moment you do, life starts responding differently. Imagination isn't escape, it's construction. Every result begins as an invisible idea before it becomes concrete. The mind builds internally what the hands will build externally. So if you can't picture it, you'll never produce it. Most people limit their future to their memory. They recycle what they've seen, not what they desire, But creative imagination breaks that loop. It connects you to possibilities your logic can't yet explain. The subconscious doesn't distinguish between vividly imagined and physically real. So when you rehearse success in detail, your system adjusts, your posture shifts, your voice changes, your certainty grows. This is identity creation through internal rehearsal. Imagination must be disciplined, not random, casual daydreaming. Isn't power directed? Emotional visualization is. You must feel it, see it, live it daily. Use imagination like an architect uses blueprints. Be specific, be emotional, be consistent, and align every thought, word, and action with that inner vision. That's how imagined futures become inevitable outcomes. The extraordinary don't wait to believe in what they see, they believe so vividly that the world starts to conform. This isn't delusion, it's dominion. Your vision leads and reality follows. Purpose is not an idea, it's a frequency. When clear, it radiates like a signal, pulling people, paths, and power toward you. But when vague, it scatters your energy and attracts confusion. The world doesn't follow noise, it follows precision. A defined purpose gives your mind an anchor. It filters distractions, simplifies decisions, and amplifies persistence. You stop asking, should I? And start declaring, I must. Because with purpose, action becomes non-negotiable. Clarity of purpose rewires your nervous system. You handle resistance differently. Obstacles aren't stop signs, they're feedback, and every challenge is reframed as a test of alignment. Purpose generates authority. People follow those who move like they know where they're going. Confidence isn't just volume, it's direction backed by intention. And those with direction shift rooms without speaking. You don't find purpose, you define it, you craft it through deep reflection and bold decision. Ask, what outcome is worth every part of me? Then burn every bridge that leads elsewhere. Once your purpose is fixed, you become immovable. Not because life gets easier, but because you get harder to shake. Your path clarifies, your steps sharpen, your mind locks in. Purpose isn't just a compass, it's your personal gravitational field. Persistence isn't repeating effort, it's repeating belief under pressure. Most quit not from fatigue, but from fractured certainty. They stop because they interpret delay as denial. But time tests conviction, not potential. Consistency builds identity. Every time you keep going, you deepen self-trust. You teach your nervous system, I finish what I start, and that belief becomes armor against external chaos. Breakthroughs often arrive just past the moment most would quit. Why? Because resistance intensifies right before release. It's not punishment, it's the final filter. Only the convinced cross that threshold. Persistence isn't blind repetition, it's intelligent obsession. You adjust tactics, not your target. You bend method, not your mission. And every setback becomes raw material for refinement. The world respects the one who won't fold. Resources appear for the committed. Doors open for those who keep knocking with strategy. Persistence is how you prove you're serious without words. Be relentless with your vision, flexible with your methods. Stay in motion when no one's clapping. Keep pressing when results are invisible, because energy compounds and persistence always collects. Your thoughts are electric. Your emotions are magnetic. Together, they form the vibrational signal you transmit daily. This signal dictates what you notice, attract, and tolerate, and your environment either sharpens it or scrambles it. You cannot plant excellence in poisoned soil. Surrounding yourself with fear-driven voices infects your frequency. Every conversation, every post, every complaint is input, and input becomes identity if left unchecked. Your mental diet must be guarded like sacred territory. What you read, hear, and speak are not passive, they're programming. You are always being conditioned, consciously or not, and silence doesn't protect you, only intention does. Protect your energy like it's capital, because it is. Audit your circle. Do they energize or deplete you? Do they normalize smallness or pull greatness from you? Environment isn't background, it's a strategic force, but the most critical environment is internal. Your self-talk sets the ceiling of your performance. Inner chaos will override any external strategy. Control the narrative inside, and the outside obeys. Build alliances with people who elevate your vibration. Detach from anything that celebrates doubt. You don't owe loyalty to limitation. You owe commitment to your next level. Faith without action is fantasy. Belief becomes power only when it moves through your body. Thinking changes nothing until Motion is initiated. Action converts possibility into evidence. You don't wait for motivation, you move until it activates. Every step forward disrupts fear's hold. The brain builds confidence through reference points. And reference comes from doing, not dreaming. Massive results come from consistent execution, not perfect conditions. Waiting for clarity is how people stay stuck. Action creates clarity, it forces feedback, and feedback is how you adapt and ascend. Your nervous system learns fastest through experience. When you act boldly, your identity updates. You become the kind of person who moves, even in fog, and that habit builds unstoppable momentum. Overthinking is a disguise for fear, but action interrupts that loop immediately. It shifts your energy. From internal hesitation to external progress. Progress, no matter how small, compounds into transformation. The difference between those who evolve and those who repeat. The first act before they feel ready. They lead with motion, not mood. Because movement is the language the universe understands, this entire journey leads to one truth. Reality bends to conviction, not noise, not need, conviction. When you act from the belief that everything is working for you, you stop chasing outcomes and start commanding alignment. This isn't optimism, it's ownership. You're not asking for life to cooperate. You're declaring who you are and moving accordingly. That's when resistance transforms into response. Your mind has now seen the map, and once seen, it can't unsee. You know what the dominant do. They decide, they believe, and they move like it's already done. So if this message activated something deep in you, pause, feel that fire, declare that shift, and right now type in the comments, I move like it's already done. Because when you say it, you start living it. Share this video with someone who's been questioning their path, someone who needs to remember that their decision shapes destiny. If this awakened your clarity, your drive, or your standard, make the decision now. Subscribe and stay in this momentum. This channel is your environment of expansion. Your mind's next evolution begins here. The world doesn't change when you wait. It changes when you move, act like everything is working for you because it will. You're not here to react. You're here to rewrite.